HHN on the go. Hope everybody having a cool day, cool afternoon, cool evening, cool night. It's a nice night out here. Well, let's get off into it.
What in the world is going on here?
Today, we're starting a new Future is for Everyone fund.
What in the world is going on here?
Today, we're starting a new Future is for Everyone fund to invest in the community's teachers, first responders, energy and water infrastructure, and more ways to support those communities directly. We're also working to make sure that everyone has a personal superintelligence agent that works 24/7 on...
The superintelligence agent. They're calling them agents. You can't make this up. Welcome to the Matrix. But let's go back to the beginning.
What in the world is going on here?
Today, we're starting a new Future is for Everyone fund to invest in the community's teachers, first responders, energy and water infrastructure, and more ways to support those communities directly. We're also working to make sure that everyone has a personal superintelligence agent that works 24/7 on your behalf to improve your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, and more. You can use our latest models in the Meta AI app, and I'm looking forward to sharing more.
First and foremost, back up at least 100 feet away from the camera. You have no business staring at me like that. So he wants to help this, he wants to help that. He wants to put a super intelligent AI into everyone's hands, which I'm sure won't have any data harvesting, data collections whatsoever, unlike all the other products they have.
Hey, so I think that the key to building a positive future for everyone is to make sure that everyone has access to personal superintelligence.
Whoa, okay, he got even closer that time. But yeah, he wants us to download this completely free super AI right to our phones, computers, and other devices with no strings attached whatsoever.
Yeah, and remember, if something is given away for free, you are the product. Never forget that.
Again, to help us, to help humanity. But it's kind of funny how life works sometimes, because as he's saying this news story is coming out. Zuckerberg under fire after his $300 million yacht was closest to a stranded boat, but didn't help. Oh, that's so Zuck. But anyway, apparently what happened is that a 21-foot boat that was carrying two women, a child, and a dog was traveling through the waters of southeastern Alaska when they ran out of fuel and ended up being stranded. They contacted the Coast Guard saying this is not an emergency, but we need assistance. The Coast Guard looks on the map and they see two ships, and they see that the closest one is a super yacht with a support ship. So they radio out multiple times to this super yacht, and this super yacht called Launchpad never picks up and never answers the Coast Guard. The yacht and its support vessel keeps going right past the stranded boat. The Coast Guard then contacts this other ship out there called the Wilderness Legacy, telling them the other ship is not picking up. So the Wilderness Legacy turns around and helps the stranded boat.
Wow.
The crew on Zuckerberg's yacht made the excuse that they did not hear this radio call by the Coast Guard, even though the Coast Guard did reach out multiple times. But here's the thing, when it comes to maritime law, you are legally required to stop and assist somebody, but only if the Coast Guard determines it to be a distress situation. This was not one of those times. This was just a call for assistance, meaning they were not legally required to stop. It just goes to show how interesting life is. You're making this video right here, and then not too long after, a news story comes out that shows your real character. I mean,
yeah, it's like there's a stranded boat out there. You want a super yacht. You couldn't help them out with fuel, and the Coast Guard was calling you. They was calling y'all talking about we ain't hear it. So even the captain was partying on the fucking boat too. Ain't nobody motherfucking paying attention. It's like, nah, y'all ain't want those people that was out there with no fuel to see what was going on that yacht. Y'all was probably doing some illegal shit, probably sacrificing, having blood rituals and a whole bunch of other crazy shit. So the other ship that was out there whipped around and helped out. But fuck Zuckerberg for talking about we need to help each other, help humanity, but you don't want to help a boat that's out there that need gas. Mind you, like you want a super yacht. But anyway,
At the end of the day, this shouldn't be really surprising to anybody. And like this
Right.
person said, so the man who is basically responsible for instant communication anywhere around the world via Facebook was unable to receive communications. There is definitely some irony to that. Now, do I believe they did not hear the Coast Guard? No, I believe they ignored it. They probably want people to see what's actually on this yacht. And while it may seem selfish, it is Mark Zuckerberg and his crew's right not to assist in a non-emergent situation. It's not against the law, but when you're out here making all these videos about how you're a philanthropist and you want to give people this free AI because you want to quote unquote help people, it's the small things like this that are very telling. Yeah, I wouldn't accept anything he wants to give me for quote unquote free. Let's not also forget that Facebook was created by DARPA. What happens to already be on our phones is bad enough. But moving on to something even creepier, two friends get inside a car, they're driving along the highway. Also forget that Facebook was created by DARPA. What happens to already be on our phones is bad enough. But moving on to something even creepier, two friends get inside a car, they're driving along the highway, and they're chatting back and forth, talking about some small local event and how over 1,000 people joined that event. One of them replied how incredible that was when all of a sudden a third mysterious voice joined their conversation saying that's true, that is a lot of people for an event. The two inside the car were very startled, but the driver realized that the voice came directly from her phone, which she was using as GPS. This is the driver's post on Reddit. She posted on the Google Pixel board 2 days ago talking about this experience. She said that she's super creeped out and asked the question, has her phone been listening to all her conversations so far? She also said she tried interacting again to reproduce this, but nothing worked. She tried OK Google, Hey Gemini a few times and tried repeating the interaction about the event, but nothing happened. She has also said she's never used a voice assistant, so the wake word, etc. were deactivated in the settings. So what exactly happened here? She even thinks that this might have been a bug, but this person replied to her.
Just like I recorded the phone motherfucking hearing my voice and saying something. You know what I'm saying? The fucking Gemini. You know, it's like now people are experiencing this shit now. Glad I'm not the only one.
Post by saying, open your assistant settings. It looks like Google decided to automatically opt us into surveillance mode while using Maps or Waze. A couple other people have confirmed this as well. One person said, I have it all turned off, but yep, that one particular setting was on. Another person said, I had everything deactivated too and found that stuff toggled. I'd even gone through every setting before making sure that nothing was activated. I do the same thing. Google had snuffed this one in an update. Another person said they personally turned it on, but it should absolutely be an opt-in, not an opt-out. And here's the thing, even if you opt out or you disable it, a system or server-side update can re-enable this background listening feature. But the question happens to be, with surveillance mode on, does Google save these recordings of everything that's said? And it says that by default, Google does not save audio clips of your voice interactions to your account unless you explicitly opt in. I'm not sure how truthful that is given the fact of what's actually happening here, but it does say, though, it does save the text transcripts of what you said. So yeah, in one way, shape, or form, it's saving everything you said with or without your knowledge. And I know some people out there will say, well, if you're not saying anything bad or doing anything bad, this shouldn't bother you. But you can simply drive your car that has a bumper sticker that reads, I'm a good little NPC, I love authority, into another state and become a target. This video is by Uniting Now.
Police used thousands of flock cameras to track a man down and search his car without a warrant simply because he drove to a state where marijuana is legal. This took place in April of last year, but was just exposed yesterday by 404 Media. The police used his lawful travel to Michigan as a foundational justification to pull him over and then search his car for marijuana. According to public records and audit logs from April of last year, deputies ran expansive queries across thousands of cameras simultaneously, labeling most of their entries generically as warrant or traffic. On the day of his arrest, the flock cameras flagged him traveling northbound on Highway 41 in Wisconsin, passing a camera on Bridge Street, then crossing the border into Michigan. Hours later, at about 4 p.m., the vehicle triggered another flock camera as it was heading southbound on Interstate 41 back to Wisconsin. Deputies then coordinated a targeted road intercept and initiated a traffic stop. The criminal complaint explicitly relied on the automated tracking data to establish probable cause for the search, saying based on prior hits, the vehicle travels to Michigan frequently. They then searched his car, claiming they smelled marijuana, and they did actually find marijuana. But this sets a very dangerous precedent where simply driving to a state where cannabis is legal is treated as a suspicious pretext to justify an invasive vehicle search.
Right.
And
yeah, and plus I covered that case. A motherfucker going from Wisconsin to Michigan. Oh, he traveled back and forth frequently. Let's check his shit to see if he's selling anything. You know, it's some bullshit. Some bullshit. You know, I'm happy I don't got a car. Like, one, I'm happy because I live in the second worst place to drive in. The first worst place for motherfucking transportation when it comes to public transit. So I'm better off having a bike or an electric bike. I'm better off grabbing that for like 150, 200. You know. But do I want a car? Yes, I want one, but I don't need one. And plus, all my jobs that I ever had is, you know, like, for some reason, it was always up the street. Except for the time I worked at the mall when I had to get on the freight and go like a 45-minute ride to another city. Troy, Michigan is pretty hot. I like it out there. But, yeah. We out here on the go. Chilling before I go back into work.
Crazy is that with all the backlash that Flock is getting, is it also possibly covering up for other organizations and companies like Exxon? Flock is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right, Flock is just one piece of the puzzle because we got Exxon out here. Motherfucking Exxon.
So you guys, we were laughing about this like a few days ago, or like a week ago, that you know, they're making watermelon seedless, everything seedless, so we can't grow anything. And now they're taking the tops from the pineapples. What?
That video was by Shop Fred's Farm, and yeah, that could be more GMO fruit as we've been seeing. But here's the thing, the crown of the pineapple actually allows one to grow another pineapple. But it's also natural, and they use the excuse of it's better for you and the earth to sell you something unnatural. And it's not just pineapples, but it's almost every fruit. This video was by Cultivate Elevate.
So I wanted to show something interesting that I found. So I collect all these peach pits after I eat peaches, and then I eat the pit, right? Crack it open. Here's the weird thing. They don't have any seeds. Now the apricots, those still contain seeds. So let me crack this one open. So I just hit it with a mallet, and look, once again, no seed. So now I'm gonna break open this apricot to show you there's a seed. Look at that, it still has the seed. So they're getting rid of the seeds in everything now. Because think about it, even peaches, apples, right? Everything you can think of. Watermelons, grapes, oranges, lemons. Why are they getting rid of all the seeds? Well, the seeds heal, right? Why are they getting rid of all the seeds? Well, the seeds heal, right? That's what these do.
This next story is a little interesting. Apparently passengers on this Air Alaska flight were making threats on board the plane.
The flight attendants have received threats from customers on board the aircraft.
Okay, do you need us to contact law enforcement?
Absolutely. The captain's on the
Man,
phone.
what the hell they gonna do? Get into some jets and fly next to the plane and be like, yo, people on the plane, we're going to arrest y'all if y'all keep on threatening the pilot. How the fuck y'all gonna do that? Or y'all gonna wait till they get off the plane to arrest the people? I don't get it. Explain this shit.
Again, line for the flight attendants is we had a customer threaten to take the aircraft over.
Yeah, one of the passengers even threatened to take over the plane, so the pilot, he brought the plane back to the airport. All the passengers were temporarily deplaned while deputies investigated the
One person. You know how many people on the plane and one person be like, nigga, I'm about to take over the plane with what? Oh, no. Let me guess. A box cutter? The fuck out of here.
incident. The investigation determined that there was no credible threat according to the sheriff's office. The flight crew said that 2 specific passengers were causing these threats and disturbances, but when the police interviewed all the passengers on board the plane, they said they heard absolutely nothing of the sorts. All the passengers were allowed to reboard the flight except those 2 passengers that supposedly caused the threat, but they were still allowed to rebook another flight, which normally they're not allowed to do if they indeed were involved in any type of threats. The flight crew said it was absolute chaos on board, but one would think that we would see some kind of video footage come out. But yeah, very odd story. None of the passengers or the authorities can back up the disturbance that the flight crew and the pilot reportedly experienced.
Disney.
Right, so basically, they don't even know like if the shit is true or not because nobody on the plane said that like there was a disturbance. So why did the pilot say that he's being threatened and drop the plane back off? That was a fucking drill. That seemed like a secret drill that the pilot motherfucker had to do because y'all grabbed the people, but like majority of the people said like there was nobody threatening anybody. So what the fuck was that shit about? That's some weird shit. That's some weird ass shit. So my theory is it was some motherfucking staff. It was like either the staff egged him on to do that shit, or he was told to do that shit, and it override everything. So y'all hiring pilots that are bipolar schizophrenics now, or y'all pulled the motherfucking problem reaction solution scenario, some central casting shit? What the fuck just happened? I'm being threatened. Let me turn this plane around. Everybody get questioned. The supposedly two people like get off the plane, man, but like nobody on the plane motherfucking heard shit. So like what the fuck going on? Somebody said something to that pilot and made the pilot freak out, and it had to been somebody on the staff. Who knows? I don't know. But this is weird. It's a weird moment.
All of its employees to get vaccinated, fully vaccinated by September 30th, 2021, or you'd be fired. I was backed into a corner. I decided to get it. I was so mad that I had to do that to keep my job. And I left and I drove home to get on a podcast that I committed to previously. But I had a Band-Aid on my shoulder. I got it because I love my job and I need my job. But I think it's sick and scary for any company to force an employee to get a vaccine.
I would have quit.
There are so many people who still believe that companies did not mandate the shot. A lot of people still think that it was an option, and no. Disney absolutely mandated the shot, and they did it across all avenues. Disney Parks, Disney Cruise Lines, corporate office, and all other divisions. It was mandated or you face termination. But they weren't the only one. Companies like Google, Facebook, United Airlines, Delta, and more also mandated the shot. In my opinion, these companies should have to pay out settlements, and if there's any injuries related to those shots, they should have to pay for all damages.
So yeah, there is a form of gaslighting happening today where little by little people are coming out and saying, well, nobody made you get the jab, nobody held you down and stuck it in your arm. But a lot of people are forgetting that a lot of these companies were telling people you're going to be fired, you're going to lose your livelihood if you don't get the jab. Which for a lot of people, maybe not all, but for a lot of people, it is essentially holding them down and sticking them in the arm. That video was by Wall Street Apes.
Yeah. What should have happened was everybody should have quit. And then the hospital would have been like, oh shit, let's not make it mandatory because we need our fucking workers. But I know some people quit. But me, shit, I'll straight up quit. I understand, yep, I love this job. I would probably just motherfucker go back to the hustle. Go back to the hustle game.
That the police are going to hire IDF. What a conspiracy theory. They already are. This girl was just hired. She was an IDF soldier, like in Oregon. Now she's a police officer. This is her with stolen Palestinian goods. She seems pretty proud about that. How did she serve in the IDF? She's Mexican American. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, anyone can serve in the IDF if they want to. I mean, she's Mexican American and she's not even Jewish, and she still did it. Also, we send a lot of our people over to Israel to be trained as police officers and come back. They literally train with the IDF. So it's a pipeline. They go straight from IDF to the police force. That's how our training has always been in this country. That's why they always behave the same as the IDF. Yeah, so not only are people being sent over with our tax dollars to train with the IDF to become police officers, but they're also hiring veterans because veterans are preferred. They know that they were trained properly, and they also know that they're going to follow orders. So a lot of the IDF is going to be chosen for the police departments, yeah, and it's already happening.
That video was by Sarah Holcomb Comedy, and yeah, this has been happening for quite some time now. Police agencies from multiple states sending officers to Israel to train. This came back up again across social media because of this one woman right here. I mean, they're still voting on merging Israel and the United States militaries together.
Are you guys aware of consumer intelligence scores? That means that corporations will discriminate on you based on who you are, based on how much money you make, based on if they think you can afford certain things, based on if you've talked about it and how many times you've looked it up.
Ask you about a patent, an actual patent that the Walmart Corporation has. This is a patent for a shopping cart, and I think we have a graphic to this effect. This is a patent for a shopping cart that uses sensors to track the speed of your cart, your heart rate, your body temperature, and then feeds it into a server for analysis. I emphasize this is not a joke. This is not, AI didn't invent this, sadly, but AI is going to use it. Walmart has this. Why would Walmart want something like this?
Companies hem and haw and deny that they're using things like surveillance pricing in many settings. But I think if we look at what they do and say in other settings, the technologies they're building and bothering to patent, to get monopoly rights for, to monetize, if we look at what they tell their investors, if we look at...
Yeah, the fucking patent of the new shopping cart is crazy. I'll share it on my community post when I get home. I don't got my third phone on me. I got my two phones. I got the one, the offline where I record, and I got the one I go live on. But yeah, HHN on the go.
The companies they're scooping up, they're buying up AI pricing tech companies who come to market offering new surveillance pricing technologies. It really paints a different picture of where this country is headed and where our economy is headed. This doodle is, pretty horrifying, but it's really just the first step, building out the ability to use, cameras and cooler screens to take a look at what you're doing, to use your grocery cart, to monitor your temperature. All that is feeding into consumer intelligence scores, agitation scores that better estimate how much they can convince you to fork over for every item in that shopping cart.
Fork it over.
Why am I paying more than that guy? That is your personalized pricing. That sounds a lot nicer than it feels. Well, yeah. The thing is that we have seen surveillance pricing online for many years, from buying plane tickets, renting a car. But we're starting to see companies laying the groundwork or even testing it in person. Sure, yeah, but I should be paying less than that guy. No, yeah, well, Target just had to admit that your personal data is deciding how much you pay for groceries. A new law in New York forces retailers to disclose if an algorithm uses your personal data to set prices. It's called algorithmic pricing. Here's how it works. The store tracks your location, your browser history, and your spending habits to guess exactly how much you're willing to pay. In one example, a carton of eggs cost $1.99 in one neighborhood, but jumped to $2.29 in another. Same eggs, same website, different data. New York is currently the only state forcing them to admit this, which means in the other 49 states, you're likely paying a personal data tax on your coffee, and they don't even have to tell you.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Yep, I got like 4 minutes left before I go back in.
I literally witnessed.
So I'm just knocking this on out. I figured I gotta go to work.
All these other 10 snack size bars.
Gotta get back to work.
$2.50 to $3.16. It started glitching, and I thought, what in the world?
That video was by Eric Mutzos, and it couldn't be any more evident that we are beyond 1984. We truly did not know how good we had it back in the 90s.
Better check the fine print. That's all I got to say. When it comes to your child, better read every single line, every single dot of ink, every page, front and back, left, right, and diagonal. Because I'm going to tell you, to my son's open house the other day. And I received a packet when we got into the classroom, and all the parents were standing around the classroom with their children.
For sure,
I got this folder. The left side of the folder was stuff that was supposed to go with us. Right side was supposed to be stuff that we had to sign off on and return to the teacher. Here's what got me. Not only was I the only parent in there that thoroughly read what I was authorizing, thoroughly read what permission...
Basically, the only parent that read and has common sense, critical thinking, and comprehension. Chances are it was more than over 30 parents in that bitch. And she's the only one that got her mind right.
I was giving to these individuals for my child. I was the only one who did not sign off on one specific form. You can call me a conspiracy theorist. You can say I'm over the top. You can say I'm making stuff up.
Nope. I'm going to say you are a great fucking parent. You are a great fucking parent for reading the fucking fine print and caring about your goddamn child. Look what she about to say.
Over dramatic. At no point in my son's kindergarten career or career in school period do I find it appropriate for me to authorize you the permission, record my son's voice, him saying various different sentences, different words, track his vocal progress, save it into a file, and then compare it later down the road.
Yeah, y'all heard that? Parents, we want to motherfucking record your kid's voice so we can motherfucking do some shit with it later on down the line. What type of crazy shit is that?
To his progress through his career in school. Was the only parent that did not authorize this permission. Why do you want to record my child's voice and save it on a file? You can track progress through different things. I don't know, maybe memory. To understand something very important here, her voice. There are thousands of digital copies of you, and you have no idea where they are, what they're doing, what they're saying. You are an influencer or a content creator like I am. Well, I'm very well aware that there's hundreds, probably thousands and thousands of digital copies of me. understand that your child's voice can be altered. Not only can it be altered, there's a digital footprint.
There is an AI tool that's being used commonly in kindergarten classrooms. It's called Amira Learning, and what it does is it has children read passages and sentences. The AI then analyzes the oral recording and finds things like errors, pronunciation issues, and then the teacher then stores that data and can reflect back on it to see how the student has progressed throughout the year. Progress is tracked across the school year, but again, this is not really what this woman is describing in the video, because this woman is saying it's going to be tracked throughout her kid's school career, meaning over multiple years. So I think that's kind of an expansion on this.
Yeah, so if the school goes from kindergarten to 8th grade, then the school is going to be tracking your child for 8 years. Yeah. And if the high schools get it, it's going to track your child all of its natural born fucking life. I mean, like, not 8 years, but I think like 14 years. 14 years it'll be tracking. Like if it's from kindergarten to 8th grade. So yeah, it's gonna be wild. Maybe like 12 years, 13 years, 13 or 14, but you know how they use the lucky number 13. They number, not ours. But it's very scary how schools want to track your kid's voice to catalog pronunciation over time. Nah, that's cataloging your kid's data and their voice. And what if it get hacked one day and they use your kid's voice to be like, "Mommy, Daddy, I'm kidnapped. I need a $25,000 ransom if you want your kid back," and it could be all one big bullshit game. The kid is like, "What the fuck?"
Program. But what's really concerning is that if these recordings are going to be stored over a long period of time, and you have, year over year of your child's voice progressing, then they can create some kind of digital footprint of that and use it in some kind of AI training models. Now, this program right here claims to not use a digital footprint, but this is something to definitely be concerned about. This is something that should definitely be looked into, because again, the woman in the video is not really describing this program. It has some of the same base points that this program offers, but the one that she's describing goes over the course of many years with the child.
It's very interesting when you think about it, when you connect it to the yearbook and yearbook photos, how they have a picture of your child as they grow and mature.
Yeah, think about it. School yearbooks, school photos, think about that shit. Now it's going to have a voice connected to it. A digital virtual yearbook in the cyberpunk future. We might be able to live to see it if we live long enough. But now the yearbooks is going to say the quotes instead of have it written down under the picture. Ain't that crazy? Just think about it. Our children's children might have that future. My daughter is 18. So if she have a child later on and they grow up, chances are their new yearbook might have a voice under their picture.
Now it seems like they want a growing voice attached to these growing pictures now.
Let me just show you the article. It can be found on my page, truthseeker01011.com, along with other articles I've written for this week. But let me just show you. Symbolism as language of power, hidden communications, exposure, and resistance. Decoding their symbology will basically give us an insight into their world. We will know what they're talking about. We will also know who belongs to which group. You know those big groups that they're in that none of us are in? It's one big club and you and I aren't in it? Well, if we actually decide collectively down and take away the layer and layers of meaning of some of these symbols, such as like the Freemasons, all of these secret societies that have different symbologies to basically kind of know each other in public without letting the regular people know, then we will know exactly what they are planning for the future, what their goals are, how they think, so that we can position ourselves in front of those plans and actually stop them, or at least prepare ourselves on how we would fight back. And so I know a lot of people don't understand, what does esoteric knowledge have to do with anything with today? What does, all of these symbology things that seem like they're conspiracy?
Look, I feel what she's saying, but at the same time, it don't take a rocket science to look at pattern recognition. You don't need to see symbols, signs, and numbers to look at pattern recognition. Be like, okay, over the past 400 years, we've been getting our ass beat with the same fucking system. Oh, I think we just need to destroy it. You know what I'm saying? You know, but studying symbology, etymology, numerology, you know, studying that is key also, you know, because you will understand and know what's going to be their next move. But we already know their move. Their name of the game is population control. Okay? They're killing us through the food, through the water, through the air, through disease. Follow the patterns, you know, follow the money, you know, but still study the shit that you need to study. Bars.
The Illuminati theory style, but they're actually going to decode the entire plan that they have for us. Now, I've done videos before on many different types of symbology, and I'm going to keep doing it as well, so that people can actually realize that when somebody in the public figure is using these images, it means that they are part of said club that you and I are not part of. So I hope it makes sense. And my article actually goes into how symbology is actually connected in today's world. So let me know what you guys think.
That video was by TruthSeeker01011, and it's so true about all these signs and symbols. We see, really since the start of 2025, all these 33s were just in the headlines of these very suspicious news stories. But not just that, I made this community post yesterday. If you take a look at your social security card, your name and your social security number is right in the middle between the two pillars. The two pillars, which is also a very important symbol when it comes to Freemasonry. They have been playing us right from birth.
Yep. And this is HHN on the go. Shout out to everybody coming through. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody's going to watch on the playback. And much love to my guy, it's Vanta, my UK correspondent. You already know what it is. You have a cool day at work. You have a safe morning. And fuck YouTube again for fucking with your channel. You know. And fuck YouTube for fucking with a whole bunch of people's channels. You know, like for no reason. It's like they're not giving no warnings at all. They're just getting rid of people's channels. You know, so it's like fuck YouTube. They on some purge shit. You know. I still haven't got my Twitch, my Kick, or my new 7th TikTok yet. I'm still cleaning out my phone. I want to have some space when I do this shit. So once I start the Twitch or the Kick or the TikTok, I will let everybody know to hit me up. You know. Yeah, but I still do my thing over here on YouTube, but it's like shit, man. Vanta need her freedom of speech and freedom of expression. You know what I'm saying? So, and Cam Tape need to motherfucking upload my video because I'm following the rules and guidelines. They keep freezing my fucking video. They need a better server, or they need to fucking go live. They need to build a server up to a strong point and just get people to go live, and I'll be on Cam Tape. But till then, shouts out to everybody. Hope everybody have a cool day, cool afternoon, cool evening, cool night. There is no Detroit After Dark, but HHN on the go is pretty cool. Now let me smoke this other blizzle for shizzle. What up, though? We in Detroit. Beautiful night. Clear skies. Well, no, it's kind of clear. I don't know if them clouds are chemtrail haze. But anyway, they go that building that be inside my videos. I mean, the motherfucking video pictures. I'm just chilling over here across the E-way. About to get ready to smoke. Get ready to knock this day on out. Finish the rest of this night on out. Get ready to go home. And I gotta get ready to do this again in the afternoon. So I gotta go home and rest. I might do a video. I might do something. But like I've been mostly resting lately. I got a good rest in today. But I still need more. I still need more rest. You know. But shouts out to everybody. Hope everybody have a cool day, cool afternoon, cool evening, cool night. Shout out to Nathan Jordan, everybody hit the like button. And much love to my guy, this Vanta, my UK correspondent. I will do the Style Master versus Detroit Rhythm as soon as you pop back up, Vanta. You know. I don't know what's going on, but hit me up. I understand how YouTube is. They on that bullshit. It's very discouraging to pop back up and be like, what the fuck I'm gonna do next? They don't want the vixens. They don't want no lava lamp shit. It's like, what the fuck? And y'all got a shitload of AI slop music on this bitch, but y'all can't motherfucking let Vonta get on this bitch. Y'all some hoes for that. Y'all some fucking hoes. So if we can find a place that can let you have your freedom of speech and freedom of expression, put all your videos that you still got back on there, you can do your thing. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what's popping. Be like, look, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Kick, I'm on TikTok. Hashtag fuck YouTube. I'll send a little bit shit over here. Be like, look, make a short little video about current events. It'd be like, y'all want to see the whole motherfucking thing? Go to my YouTube channel. But let me get up out of here. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.